The third millennium BC spans the early to Middle Bronze Age. It represents a period of time in which imperialism, or the desire to conquer, grew to prominence in the city-states of the Middle East and throughout Eurasia. The civilization of ancient Egypt rose to a peak with the Old Kingdom. World population is estimated to have doubled in the course of the millennium, to some 30 million people. Overview. The Bronze Age occurred roughly between 3000 BC and 2500 BC. The previous millennium had seen the emergence of advanced, urbanized civilizations, new bronze metallurgy extending the productivity of agricultural work, and highly developed ways of communication in the form of writing. In the third millennium BC, the growth of these riches, both intellectually and physically, became a source of contention on a political stage, and rulers sought the accumulation of more wealth and more power. Along with this came the first appearances of mega-architecture, imperialism, organized absolutism and internal revolution. The civilizations of Sumer and Akkad in Mesopotamia became a collection of volatile city-states in which warfare was common. Uninterrupted conflicts drained all available resources, energies and populations. In this millennium, larger empires succeeded the last, and conquerors grew in stature until the great Sargon of Akkad pushed his empire to the whole of Mesopotamia and beyond. It would not be surpassed in size until Assyrian times, 1,500 years later. In the Old Kingdom of Egypt, the Egyptian pyramids were constructed and would remain the tallest and largest human constructions for thousands of years. Also in Egypt, pharaohs began to posture themselves as living gods made of an essence different from that of other human beings. Even in Europe, which was still largely Neolithic during the same period, the builders of megaliths were constructing giant monuments of their own. In the Near East and the Occident during the third millennium BC, limits were being pushed by architects and rulers. Towards the close of the millennium, Egypt became the stage of the first popular revolution recorded in history. After lengthy wars, the Sumerians recognized the benefits of unification into a stable form of national government and became a relatively peaceful, well-organized, complex technocratic state called the Third Dynasty of Ur. This dynasty was later to become involved with a wave of nomadic invaders known as the Amorites, who were to play a major role in the region during the following centuries. Events. c. 3700 BC, Lothal advanced civilization in India. c. 3650 BC to 3000 BC, Minoan culture appeared on Crete. c. 3200 BC 3100 BC, Helladic culture and Cycladic culture both emerge in Greece. c. 3000 BC, first evidence of gold being used in the Middle East. c. 3000 BC, Nubian A group Tarsita kingdom came to an end, possibly due to raids by Egypt. c. 3000 BC to 2000 BC, vessels from Denmark are made. They are now at National Museum, Copenhagen. c. 2890 BC, Second Dynasty of Egypt, reign of Hotep II, Syria, foundation of the city of Mari. Semitic tribes occupy Assyria and northern part of the plain of Shinar and Akkad. Phoenicians settle on Syrian coast, with centers at Tyre and Sidon. Beginning of the period of the Sage Kings in China, also known as the Three Sovereigns and Five Emperors. c. 2879 BC, rise of the Van Lang Kingdom and the Hongbang dynasty in northern Vietnam. c. 2800 BC to 2700 BC, harp player from Keros, Cyclades, was made. It is now at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, New York. Oran. Creation of the Kingdom of Elam. Germination of the bristlecone pine tree, Methuselah, about 2700 BC, the oldest known tree still living now. c. 2686 BC, Third Dynasty of Egypt, reign of Sanakta. c. 2613 BC, 4th dynasty of Egypt, reign of Sneferu, c. 2600 BC, founding of the Chalcolithic Iberian civilizations of Los Miles and Zambajal, c. 2500 BC, excavation and development of the Hypogeum of Halsaflia near Parola, Malta, a subterranean temple complex subsequently used as a necropolis, c. 2498 BC, 5th dynasty of Egypt, reign of Userkaf, c. 2492 BC, the Armenian Patriarchate defeats the Babylonian king Bel, c. 2345 BC, 6th dynasty of Egypt, reign of Teti, c. 2070 BC to 1600 BC, Xia dynasty, first Chinese dynasty and government system established, c. 2500 BC to 2200 BC, incised panel, frying pan, from Cyrus, Cyclades is made. It is now at the National Archaeological Museum, Athens. c. 2500 BC to 2200 BC, two figures of women from the Cyclades are made. They are now at Museum of Cycladic Art, Athens. Dynasty of Lagash in Sumer, 2474 BC to 2398 BC. Golden Age of Ur in Mesopotamia, 2600 BC. Unified Indus Valley Civilization, 2334 BC. Sargon of Akkad conquers Mesopotamia, establishing the Akkadian Empire, c. 2300 BC. C group pastoralists arrive in Nubia, c. 2181 BC. 7th and 8th dynasty of Egypt, c. 2160 BC. 9th dynasty of Egypt, reign of Akloi Merodtau, c. 2130 BC. 10th dynasty of Egypt, reign of Mary-Hathor, c. 2134 BC. 11th dynasty of Egypt, reign of Mentuhotep I. Megalithic, corded ware culture and the beaker flourish in Europe. Sumerian poetry, lamenting the death of Tammuz, the shepherd god. Sumerian cuneiform writing reduces pictographs still in use to about 550 BC. Major religious festival in Sumeria celebrates victory of god of spring over goddess of chaos. Earliest Trojan culture. Glass beads in Egypt. Beginning of the Pantutian culture in China. Environmental changes. Major migration of Central Saharans into West Africa, possibly due to climate change starting in 4th millennium BC. Significant people. Imhotep, first architect, physician, and engineer in ancient history. The 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors of China. Djoser, king of Egypt, commissions the step pyramid at Saqqara. Gilgamesh, 5th king of the 1st dynasty of Uruk, immortalized in the world's first literary work, the Epic of Gilgamesh. Khufu, king of Egypt, builder of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Urukagina, king of Lagash, creates the first known judicial code. Lugal-Sajizi, king of Urukanuma, conquers Lagash. Sargon the Great, founder of the Empire of Akkad and Sumer. Ur-Nammu, founder of the 3rd dynasty of Ur. Cultures. c. 3650 BC to 3000 BC. Minoan culture on the island of Crete. c. 3200 BC. Cycladic culture in Aegean islands of Greece. c. 3200 BC to 3100 BC. Helladic culture in mainland Greece. c. 3000 BC. Nubian A group culture comes to an end. c. 2700 BC to 1600 BC. Old Elamite period. 3250 BC to 1750 BC. Indus Valley Civilization. c. 2300 BC. Nubian C group culture. Corded ware culture. Norte Chico civilization. Late Mycop culture. Late Vinca culture. Butmir culture. Late Funnel Beaker culture. Baden culture. Globular amphora culture. Early Beaker culture. Yamna culture. Catacomb culture, likely loci of Indo-European satemization. The The Sintashta Petrovka Rakhine culture emerges from the catacomb culture from about 2200 BC, likely locus of Proto-Indo-Iranian. c. 2500 BC. Austronesian peoples from Formosa have colonized Luzon in northern Philippines. Inventions, discoveries, introductions. c. 3500 BC. Indus script develops in Indus Valley Civilization. Pottery develops in Americas. c. 3000 BC. Potter's wheel appears in Mesopotamia. 2900 BC to 2400 BC. Sumerians invent phonogram. 2650 BC. Reservoirs, script, metals and pottery used in the city of Dholavira in Indus Valley Civilization. c. 2300 BC. Metals are used in northern Europe. Chinese record a comet. Building of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Sails used on ships. First cigarettes built in Sumer. Near East civilizations enter Bronze Age around 3000 BC. Oldest known medicine wheel constructed in the Americas. First copper and then bronze and other types of metallurgy are introduced to Ireland. Domestication of the horse with the coming of Indo-Europeans in Central Eurasia. The chariot emerges in Central Asia just before 2000 BC. The camel domesticated. Indoor plumbing and sewage in the Indus Valley Civilization. Sumerian medicine discovers the healing qualities of mineral springs. Weaving loom known in Europe. Sumerian numerical system based on multiples of 6 and 12. Egyptians discover use of papyrus. Bow and arrow used in warfare. Austronesian peoples have developed lantern sail, and the outrigger as well as extensive development of celestial navigation systems. Oldest known evidence of the inhalation of cannabis smoke, as indicated by charred cannabis seeds found in a ritual brazier at a burial site in present-day Romania. Cultural landmarks. c. 3000 BC to 2500 BC. Tomb, Newgrange, Ireland, was built. c. 2750 BC to 1500 BC. Stonehenge, Salisbury Plain, Wiltshire, England, is built. Completion of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Completion of first phase of Stonehenge Monument in England. Era of Buena Vista Pyramid Observatory in Peru. Centuries. 30th century BC, 29th century BC, 28th century BC, 27th century BC, 26th century BC, 25th century BC, 24th century BC, 23rd century BC, 22nd century BC, 21st century BC,